Good morning, guys. So today we are going to do Envision lesson 3-2, and this is going to help us tell and write the time to the hour. So remember, yesterday we talked about the hour, time to the hour. We talked about if the hand is going all the way up to the 12, the minute hand, and then the shorthand is pointing it to a number. We call that whatever the shorthand is an o'clock, okay? So we're going to look at these clocks, and we're going to try to write the time. So it says both of these clocks show the same time. Tell what time is shown, then write one way the clocks are alike and one way are different. So this is pretty easy because it's telling us they show the same. And this is a digital clock, so we can look at it and just say 9 o'clock. But when we look over here, look, the hour hand, remember, which is the shorthand, is pointing at the 9. And then the minute hand is pointing at the 12, which we know we say o'clock. So this is 9 o'clock. So we're going to write 9 o'clock. And so what's one way that these two clocks are alike? They both are pointed at a 9, right? So we say they can point or say 9. So point or say 9. And then what's one way that they're different? Well, look at the minute hand. This says 0 for minutes, and what does this say? It's pointed at a 12, which stands for the o'clock and 0 minutes, but it's different that way. So I'm going to say 12, and then I put /00, because they're pointing at different things, okay? All right, so we're going to watch a real quick little movie that's going to help us with that telling time to the hour. All right, here we go.
I eat breakfast at 7 o'clock.
The clock shows 7 o'clock. How do you know that the clock shows 7 o'clock?
Okay, remember, because I start with my hour or the shorthand is pointing at the 7, and then my minute hand is pointing up at the 12, which we know is when we say o'clock.
The hour hand points to 7, and the minute hand points to 12. This clock shows 7 o'clock another way. What looks different about this kind of clock? Think about it.
We talked about it on the front.
One difference is that this kind of clock has no hands. What does the number before the 2 dots tell?
Select your answer.
It tells the hour. What do the numbers after the 2 dots tell?
They're going to tell the minutes.
They tell the minutes. So 7 tells the hour, and 00 tells the minutes. Compare the 2 clocks. Do they show the same time?
Select your answer.
Yes.
Yes, both clocks show the same time. Now you know how to tell the time on 2 kinds of clocks.
All right, we're going to go ahead and practice what we just talked about, okay? All right, so let's look down here. You can say that they did the first one for us. It says 3 o'clock. So the hour hand, the shorthand, is pointed at the 3, and the minute hand is pointing at the 12. So it wants us to make 5 o'clock. So let's think about how we're going to do that. So we're going to start with our shorthand. Our shorthand's going to go towards the 5, and then our long hand's going to go, whoops, it went sideways. Our long hand's going to go up towards the 12. And then when we write it, we put 5, and when we say o'clock, we always put 0, 0. Let's try the next one. We want to do 12 o'clock. So our hour hand is the shorthand is going to point toward the 12, but then what about the minute hand? The minute hand is going to point towards the 12 too. So it's going to go straight up. And so we would put 12, because that's how many hours, and then our minutes would be 0, 0. Very good. All right, what about 11 o'clock? Shorthand to the 11, long hand to the 12. Very good. And then we will put 11, and then 0, 0. Practice that a little bit more. Are you ready? So we have 2 o'clock. So shorthand towards the 2, shorthand towards the 2, longhand towards the 12. Because we always start with the hour. And then we will put 2, 0, 0. All right, and then 4 o'clock. Shorthand towards the 4, longhand towards the 12. 4, 0, 0. Good job. We're going to try one more since you guys are doing so great at it. 6 o'clock. Shorthand towards the 6, longhand towards the 12. 6, 0, 0. Very good. On number 8, 9, and 10, you guys can do those on your own so you can practice, but I want us to try this tricky problem down at the bottom. It says, think about how hands move on a clock to help solve you this problem. So think about how it's going to move. It says, Mary writes a pattern, then she erases some of the times. She writes 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So think about it. 6, 8. What would come next? Think about counting by 2. 6, 8, 10 o'clock. So I need to write 10, 0, 0. And then if I'm at 12 o'clock, so 10, 12. If I skip another 2, remember 1, 2, it puts me at 2 o'clock. Very good. So we're going around 2 hours each time on the clock. Okay, it says Raul starts riding his bike at 1 o'clock. He rides for an hour. What time does Raul stop? Draw the hands on the clock face. So let's think about that. He starts riding at 1 o'clock. So, and then he rides for an hour. So what's the next hour after 1? That's right, 2. So I put my shorthand towards the 2, longhand towards the 12, and then 2, 0, 0. Very good. All right, Lucy reads for 1 hour. She stops reading at 10 o'clock. What time did Lucy start reading? So let's think about that. She reads for an hour. If she starts at 10, we have to back up an hour. So what hour was that? 9 o'clock. That's right, because 10 take away 1 equals 9. So shorthand towards the 9, longhand towards the 12. So we're going to skip number 14. And then Maribel washes dishes after 6 and before 9. Which clock shows a time that she can wash different dishes? Okay, the first one says 12 o'clock. Is 12 o'clock between 6 and 9? No. What about 8 o'clock? Let's think about it. Between 6 and 9, I have 6. 8 o'clock would be a choice. But look, it has those tricky words. Choose all that apply. Okay, so let's try 7 o'clock. 6. 7 would work too. Very good. And then what about 5? It says after 6, and 5 is before 6, so we can't. All right, let's look at your homework. So for your homework, you're just going to do 1, 2, or 3 at the bottom, and then you're going to circle and match the clocks, okay? So if it's 1 o'clock, you'd circle 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock on 5, 6, 4, 5, and 6. And then you don't have to do 7, but I do want you to try 8 because it's got a tricky word in there. It's trying to trick us. It says, below, do not show. Okay, so it says, choose which clocks below do not show the same time. So you want to choose all of them that do not show 4 o'clock. So it's one of those that wants to give us more than one answer, okay? All right, you guys did an awesome job. Thank you.